Welcome to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show for purpose-driven, passion-fueled spiritual entrepreneurs ready to live their purpose, passion and prosperity as they create the life and business of their dreams whilst transforming the world, doing what they love and making fabulous money. Each week we bring you inspiring and empowering topics, popular thought leaders to empower you to transform all areas of your life and business. With your host, spiritual intuitive, entrepreneur, transformational business coach and mentor, Kimberly Lovell.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living. I am your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest is Kimberly Lovell, back for a second time. Last time we talked about your financial beliefs, living in your spiritual financial abundance, and how that if you are a caregiver or anybody that's in that type of business, we always feel guilty of charging. Well, we got over that one, and now we're actually going to be looking at what are our unconscious money beliefs, and how do we transform them into upworthing our level of income. And we don't realize sometimes that those blockages are very deep within. I recently got cleared of a vow of poverty that I've been carrying around for many lifetimes. That vow of poverty now has been obliterated in every single way you can possibly think of. But I'm still having to retrain my mindset to the vow of prosperity. And I know it is a process and something that you have to keep doing. So we're going to learn how our unconscious beliefs are sabotaging our relationship with money. We're going to clear oaths, those vows, contract related to money, vows of poverty, struggle and sacrifice, and discover the wealthy business goddess mindset. So Kimberly is a gem at this. She knows exactly how to do it using archetypes and other mediums. And we're going to find out how can we have a good relationship with money, especially if you are one of those people that is a constant giver. We can't give if we aren't able to receive. And we are worthy of receiving. How do we get into that mindset? So let's bring on Kimberly and discover what techniques we can use to be abundant in all aspects of our life, including the bank account. Welcome to the show, Kimberly.
Hi, Sarah. It's great to be here again.
It's good to have you back. I love doing the archetypes with you. It really was a mind opener. I'm a maverick, and it's, you can't escape who you are, and how you're built, because that's your DNA blueprint, isn't it? And for some people, money, it's not a question of that it's evil, because money isn't evil. It's purely a tool. It's what's done in the name of money, where the issues come up. But for some people, it's, I have no qualms about having a shitload of money because I have plenty to do with it. But it's, I'm just not sending out the right vibe or inviting it in the right way. So, there's a lot of us that we kind of get in our own way unknowingly, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the unconscious belief. So consciously, none of us would choose to be struggling with money or to have an unhealthy relationship with money. But you're right, it's the unconscious beliefs, and they're so powerful. Most people don't realise that they have them.
Yeah.
So we're going to have lots of fun tonight.
Yeah, so we realise we have them when the bank account is constantly empty.
Well, it's interesting. There's all kinds of patterns with money, So sometimes it's, I work with a lot of people around the money topic, and sometimes people have money, but they can't hang on to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can't save it, or sometimes they end up in debt. So it's all situations, and really our birthright is to be abundant. So it's great to be able to do this show together and help people really kind of get clearer on their money mindset.
But it also goes to the thing where some people become a slave to money, and it's all about the money. I recently did a show with somebody who was a doctor who looked at patients as a commodity and, made a great deal of money, the big house, the Hummer, the BMW, until he realized he was becoming a slave to that image he was maintaining. And it took a near-death experience for him to realize that the abundance didn't allow in the bank account. So he's now, he said, Hummer to Camaro. So our relationship with money it goes really, really deep, doesn't it? And it's a lot to do the way we're brought up, past lives, and very much how society looks at money and places importance upon it.
Yes. Yeah.
So So what do we do? What are our first steps?
Okay, so let's start
Guide me to
a
abundance,
little.
please, Kimberly. Guide me to abundance.
Let me just backtrack then, so everybody kind of knows where we're at, and maybe just share a little bit about how I got into this. So, I've been working with. I started off 30 years ago now, working with spirit, and I was a medium and a healer. That was following a tragic suicide in the family. It put me on my pathway, and I haven't looked back really. I've spent a lifetime since really trying to help empower people to live their purpose and to enjoy life. And life is also about money. We need money in this life. Often spiritual people kind of say, well, I'm not interested in the money, I don't really care about money, and hand on heart, I've been there too.
Yes.
And the problem is, when we say that we don't care about money, then money doesn't care about us. And what happens often is we have this love-hate relationship with money, so as I said, there's all these different patterns. So for me, as I said, I've done a lot of work. We talked about the sacred money archetypes last week. They are an amazingly powerful tool.
Unbelievable.
And today I want to dig deeper into the unconscious beliefs, but actually how we clear them. So I have a fantastic tool that I use, and it's a tool that I use with my clients, but also it's a tool that I teach. So I run certificated training. And it's a way of connecting your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. So I access a theta brainwave, and a theta brainwave is a brainwave that's quite normal. We're always in and out of different brainwaves throughout the daytime and during our sleep. So theta helps us to connect the conscious and the unconscious. It's the kind of brainwave that we go into when we're in hypnosis or trance. So it's a brainwave that I was very used to with the work that I did. I also worked as a transpersonal hypnotherapist. So it's very easy for people to be able to learn how to go into a theta brainwave, and I'm going to take you through a process a little bit later to have everybody access that theta brainwave. But it's incredibly powerful. So we'll talk about the beliefs first of all, because there are so many, all right? So I couldn't possibly mention all of the beliefs even. I'll give you an idea. We've talked about, I said I was going to clear some oaths, some vows, contracts related to money. Lots of things are related to money. So things like the fear of success, the fear of failure, they obviously are going to impact on money situation. But you'd be surprised at, the things like the vow to struggle, the vow to sacrifice yourself. Sometimes we have victim patterns that are running, and those show up also with money. There's just so many beliefs. So there's a course that I run that's called Manifesting Abundance, and it's a certified training. So on that course, we test over 100 money beliefs. And we're testing them. You talked about the past life, you talked about childhood, of this lifetime. And we also have unconscious beliefs that are held on the soul level and also on the genetic level. And the genetic level, they're passed down from our ancestors. So it may be somebody 3 or 4 or further back, 3 or 4 generations back in your family that had a particular issue, and that information is then passed down either in the genes, or so it's either in your DNA or it's in what we call the morphogenetic field. And it may be sort of like memories and stories, and they're so ingrained within us. So often it's not really our beliefs,
Yeah.
It can be our ancestors. I've always been amazed at what shows up where I think, I've done a lot of work on myself, and then I was like, this is ridiculous because I'm doing really well, and then something comes up that's kind of sabotaging, and then I'm testing, and it ends up being an ancestral belief on the genetic level from the ancestors. So yeah, it kind of sounds a bit crazy when you're new to it, but it's so powerful. So how do we find out what these beliefs are? I spoke to you earlier and you said that you knew how to muscle test.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to test some beliefs in a minute. I'm just going to let everybody else know very, very quickly how to muscle test. One way to do it, there's some videos on my website, but finger and thumb, if you put your finger and your thumb together and do this with both hands, so you've got two like two OK signs in front of you, and then you interlock your hands, and then we tell the unconscious mind that yes, the muscles will hold and they'll lock. This is what our bodies do. Our bodies know the truth, they don't lie. So when something is true, the muscles will lock and they'll hold together. It's based on applied kinesiology. So we say yes, 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 and then you pull those fingers and you're trying to pull them apart, and if it's a yes, they'll stay locked. So you can first of all test, my name is Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you'll get a yes.
Yes.
It's surprising. Sometimes people have a different name, first name. Yeah, and they test no.
Yes, no, I'm
Okay.
definitely Sarah.
So test, so you've got your yes, you've tested your name, and then you could test something, my name is Frank, and then you should have a no.
Right.
And that's a way to calibrate your muscle testing.
Okay.
So that's done, so we're good to go. So let's see, what beliefs will I get you to test? Okay, so let's test I fear being rich. So you say it out loud as a statement,
I fear
and then
being
you muscle
rich.
test.
Okay, I'm locked.
So that's a yes, yeah? So let's find out and see which levels it's held on, okay? So I fear being rich on the core level.
I fear being rich on a core level. It's locked.
I fear being rich on the genetic level.
I fear being rich on a genetic level. Slightly locked.
I fear being rich on the history level.
I fear being rich on a history level. And that again slightly parted.
And I fear being rich on the soul level.
And I fear being rich on a soul level. Locked. Oh my God, I'm a mess.
That's just one belief, right? The funny thing is, though, we can have lots of these beliefs. So when I'm training, we test over 100 beliefs. People might have 20 or 30 or 40 of them. Once we actually dig down to find the bottom belief, because we have so many beliefs and they're stacked one on top of the other, a little bit like that game, I never remember what it's called, Jenga was something like that.
Yes, yes. And
Where you pull them out
without it falling
Yeah.
down, yes.
That's right. So when you find and you pull the bottom belief, the other ones will come tumbling down as well. Sometimes there's a little bit more work to do because you can have like a particular past life that's got a few, but when you could have lots of beliefs and so forth, and when you pull the bottom one, most of it will clear, and then you will go in and just check, tidy up a little bit on the other one. So yeah, it's amazing. So
Sorry, just a point
you've got it
here.
on quite a lot of levels, pretty much all of them.
Right, yeah, I know. Hang on a second, just interject here. This isn't necessarily to do with your mind, because your mind could be saying one thing. This is to do entirely on a cellular level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when people say, no, I didn't do that, yeah, but that your mind is saying
That's
one
right.
thing, but everything else is saying something else.
Exactly. People always tell me I work with a lot of coaches as well, a lot of mindset coaches, but they don't work with this technique. They might use NLP, or they might reframe things, they might do affirmations. I'm not a huge fan of affirmations, because on your cellular memory, it's no point trying to kid your unconscious mind.
Yes.
And if you believe you're rich, well, your ancestors might not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It might not be safe to be rich. You might have been killed in a past life, or your ancestors may have had issues where it wasn't safe. Maybe they were rich and they lost all their money. Interesting things happen, and a lot of the time we don't know. Sometimes when I'm speaking with people, they actually can, go back in their family and they can say, yes, I know that did happen. But other times they've got no idea,
Right.
So you're right. It's not about the conscious belief. And people always tell me, oh, no, I'm I don't mind. I could be rich. I don't mind rich people.
Right.
Sometimes it's interesting though. I caught my partner the other weekend. Always picking him on something. I have to keep muscle testing him. He loves it. He's been all of my trainings. So I heard him say something other about the other half, how the other half live. And I said, what do you mean the other half? Who are the other half then? And he went, well, rich people. I said, oh, so that's not you then, right? And so often, we kind of have to, and we don't think about it. It's just,
Right.
it comes out.
The Freudian slip. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really powerful to kind of test beliefs and to see what's going on. So muscle testing is a fab tool. So we'll just test a few more. So I fear success.
I fear success. I opened up on that. Not fully, but did open.
Okay, that's good. I fear success on the history level.
I fear success on the history level. Locked.
So sometimes our unconscious mind is tricky. Some people might test. I'm clairaudient, so I hear people's unconscious beliefs. So if I think they've got it running, and I'm expecting them to test yes. If they test no, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I was wrong, but probably not. And we test it on the different beliefs. So sometimes it's on a different, on a level. So also we can have what we call dual beliefs. So part of you might muscle test I'm rich, but you might also muscle test I'm poor. Yeah, and you might be rich on the core level, but poor on the genetic level or the history level.
Right.
Yeah. Or you might feel like you're rich, but you fear being rich, or you fear rich people, on a different level. So it's all conflicts in the unconscious mind.
It's also, I think, if you feel enriched in other aspects of your life as opposed to money rich, right?
Well, yeah, and that's a different thing, isn't it? I mean, for me, it's all connected. When I talk about wealth, I'm talking about of mind, body, spirit, having a wealth of friends, feeling enriched in our lives. So we don't need to have money in order to feel rich.
Right.
And obviously it's a part of our everyday living. We do kind of really need money in our life in order to be able to pay bills and mortgages and rent and buy our food, etc. So yeah, but it's funny that we can feel that we're rich in spirit, and as I was saying, often spiritual people have these kind of issues that they feel that they're very rich in their spirit and they've got lots of amazing things in their life they're very grateful for, and yet they struggle with money. Now, we have collective conscious beliefs or collective unconscious beliefs. So you're talking about money is the root of all evil, yeah? And it was the love of money that's the root of all evil. Yes. So that's a quote from the Bible. So we have a lot of religious beliefs that our ancestors had, or maybe that we were brought up with in this lifetime or from past lives. Sometimes we've got lifetimes where we pledged, to be poor, or to give all our money away.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fascinating.
Yeah, and we even though, like in my case, I discovered I had a vow of poverty, and I've, I destroyed that vow, but that doesn't still, it's not in the other aspects of my cellular level. That still has to be cleared out. Like, it hasn't rebooted yet, the computer, to kind of understand there's a new belief there.
Yeah, so everybody works differently. The way that we work with theta, the way that we train people to work, is to find the bottom belief and to find out what are all the lessons, the blessings and gifts that we're learning from it. You see, everything is serving us, okay? People, I say to people, what you're learning from that or what you're gaining from that, and they usually will say nothing, because it's something negative, What are you learning from being poor? Nothing. I don't want to be poor.
That's what you've learned. First of all, you don't want to be poor.
Exactly. First of all, you're saying, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be rich, and then, you're calling it to you. Right. Things that we fear and things that we don't want are what we end up attracting. Yeah? So the unconscious doesn't understand don't. So we need to be focused on what we do want, okay? But yeah, we're always clear on all 4 levels, okay? We could say that there's 5, because there's also kind of like parallel lives.
Which I have,
however you might interpret that. But for me, often I think about, when you want something in your life and you've got a dream or a vision, everything is energy, and those dreams, those visions, they have a life of their own as well. So on some level, that's another parallel life. Yeah, waiting to manifest. So that energy is going out into the universe. So we're clear on all of the levels, okay, and we find out what it is that you're learning from it. So we're usually learning lessons. Sometimes we're gaining virtues. So on the spiritual level, some religions would say, that money is not so good, and that that if you don't have money, then you're more spiritual, or you'll be closer to God. There's a saying, isn't there, the meek will inherit the earth. So sometimes people are keeping themselves poor in order to be close to God, or in order to be spiritual.
Yes.
Okay, and that's their unconscious understanding of what spirituality is, or really it's about religion, not spirituality. Huge difference between religion and spirituality. The thing about I fear failure or I fear success, sometimes people have both, and then we need to, what I call dig, to find out what is the bottom belief. So some little tips here on how you can do this for yourself is to ask what's the worst thing about that, and then also what's the best thing about that, and you have to kind of keep going. So so you had, as I fear being rich, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the worst thing about being rich?
I mean, on the intellectual level, absolutely nothing, because I've got plenty of plans for it. But I suppose on the other level, that it may change me.
Yeah. Okay, so just close your eyes, and how will it change you, being rich?
Become complacent.
And what's the worst thing about being complacent?
Lose productivity of your purpose.
And what's the worst thing about that?
If you're not in purpose, you're not in service.
And when you're not in service?
What's the reason for being here?
Okay. That's an interesting question, isn't it? What's the reason for being here? And is it your purpose to be in service? Is that what your life is all about?
Yes. Yes.
And is there a way that when you're in service that you can serve yourself?
I think I am. I think I'm feeding myself when I'm in service.
So often you're talking about givers, and again I see this a lot with people, spiritual people, heart-centered people. You know, we want to help people. You know, maybe we're coaches, or you know, we're in that caring capacity. We want to help people. Most people are heart-centered and want to help people, yeah. But we also need to help ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes we overgive. When we overgive, then we're not able to receive. So receiving is a very big part of being able to have abundance and experience abundance. Yeah. So test, it's safe for me to receive.
It's safe for me to receive. I'm locked.
So that's good. That's a yes for the moment. So I want you to test receiving makes me weak.
Receiving makes me weak. No, I'm locked.
You're locked.
I'm locked. Yeah.
That's a yes. So receiving makes you weak. Yeah. So it's safe for you to receive, but then you're testing that receiving makes you weak. So that's not. Yeah. Not particularly safe. And again, this is a common one for people. You know, it's one that I had. You know, because it's like I have to do everything myself.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to do everything myself on an unconscious level.
It's also like if you do something, you've got to do something back for them of equal or more.
Yes, you have to give back. So you feel indebted.
Yes.
So test that. I'm indebted to others.
I'm indebted to others. Totally locked.
So sometimes when we, you know, say that we have to be in service and there's no point to living otherwise, it's because we've got some kind of unconscious commitment to serve others in order to repay them. Yeah.
Yes.
And then when we dig on, you know, different beliefs, sometimes people they can never repay their debts. Yeah.
Yes.
Or they can never repay people that, you know, I owe them my life. Well, how do you repay that back? Yeah.
Right.
Do you have to give a life for a life, or
give up your life for them? Yes.
Yeah.
Which in the
so
past,
there we get
I mean,
into
that
the sacrifice.
was some cultures, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you save someone's life, you now own them.
Yeah. So they're really powerful beliefs, and of course our beliefs and our feelings underpin everything that we do. They underpin, you know, our thoughts and our behaviours and so forth, and therefore what we're creating and manifesting in our lives, what we do and what we don't do, because usually the things that stop us from taking aligned action, the things that cause us to procrastinate or sabotage, are these unconscious beliefs. So let's get into clearing some of them, shall we?
Yes, please.
I'll give you a few more just so that, you know, people that are listening can test a few more beliefs. So I've got a whole list of beliefs on my website people can download and check. But there's fear of being alone, fear of being rejected or abandoned, fear of being unloved, fear of being unsafe. You know, if it's not safe for us to have money, have love, whatever it is that we're talking about, really, because we're, you know, today we're talking about money, but, you know, in terms of abundance, it could be an abundance of love.
Yes.
Sometimes, you know, everything is connected, and I used to have a belief that that love was more important than money, and that I chose love over money.
Right.
And
you can't have both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like, when did I decide that I had to make a choice between one or the other? I don't know.
Right.
Or maybe it was my ancestors, and I was kind of like, oh my goodness. And that played out in my life, you know. I'm sure you can kind of put two and two together.
Yes, exactly.
But, you know, you can have it all, but you can only have it all if you're able to be it all and you're able to believe it all.
Right. Exactly. You know, and of course it's that feeling worthy, isn't it?
Yes.
That's always the big challenge.
Yes, worth is a huge issue.
Yes.
And again, for a lot of women, but for everybody in general, you know, self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, feeling worthy, feeling deserving. And the truth is, you see, we don't have to do anything in order to be worthy or be deserving. We already are worthy and deserving. The fact that we're human beings and we're here.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And we've become so ingrained, I think, in our collective that we have to earn love, that we have to earn money, that we have to earn respect, you know, that we have to behave in a certain way. We're conditioned from childhood, you know, to be a good girl or be a good boy, that we have to do this or do that, and we have to do a good job. Yeah. But that's, you know, that all of that, you know, we start comparing ourselves and judging ourselves and trying to live up to other people's expectations. That is nothing to do with worth.
And it's
Being
also this,
wealthy.
you know, placing any importance upon yourself, which is not self-importance, which is ego-driven,
Yes.
but just placing any importance upon yourself, like putting yourself first, nurturing yourself, being full within you. You're
Yeah.
so much more productive and of service to people when you are abundant. But there is this, you know, whole thing of that I need to sacrifice myself, you know, and rather than be full and abundant, because in that way I actually can serve more people.
Yes.
So, you know, it's kind of getting your whole psyche to actually understand that way of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, you know, there's probably a lot of people listening that may be kind of, you know, lots kind of resonating with what we're talking about here, but also, you know, what you've got in the bank. I just want to make this really clear for people, because people might be thinking, well, how can I be, you know, feel worthy, or how can I feel abundant when I don't have any money? Okay. So, you know, regardless of what you've got in your bank,
Zero.
and on your bank statement, you can still choose. Okay, everything is choice. You can still choose to feel abundant. You know what abundance feels like, okay? And if you don't, in a minute I'm going to do some downloads. But so it's about choosing that energy, that vibration. It's not about fake it till you make it, because we're going to pull the limiting beliefs that do have us feel unworthy and not good enough and not able to receive, but then replace them with the positive beliefs, but also the feeling, so we feel it on the cellular level. Yeah? It's not just an idea or a concept. We have to embody it. We have to be that energy and that vibration. So we're going to be doing that in just a minute. But yeah, it's regardless of what, you know, the bank statement shows, you are abundant. You know, everybody has different beliefs, but, you know, we live in an abundant world. You know, you look to nature. Nature is abundant.
Absolutely.
We've got infinite resources. It's about really the problems that are going on in the world, about how we're actually, you know, dividing and separating and distributing resources, okay? Those are the things that we need to work out, and how to, you know, kind of be a bit more sustainable, or a lot more sustainable.
A lot more respectful.
So, you know, those are kind of like our challenges and our things that we can create in the world, so that we can make the best use of all that we have for everybody to be able to prosper, everybody to be able to be abundant, okay? But the other thing
you know, the other thing about an empty bank account is just like nature. You know, things die off, and then they regrow.
Yes.
And come back to life again. Well, you know, your bank balance can too. Just because it's empty right now doesn't mean you have to stay there. In fact, you can seed it so that it grows again.
Yeah. It's about being in flow.
Yeah.
You know, when we're in flow, then, you know, it's like the tide, the ebb and the flow. So, you know, it comes in, it goes out. Again, some people have issues around what I call feast or famine. They've either got lots or they haven't got enough, you know. And that's part of, you know, some unconscious program that's running around feast and famine. But truly, you can have consistent abundance. And, of course, money likes a purpose. So, you know, you hear lots of people that have won the lottery, for example, whose their wealth consciousness, their money mindset wasn't of that vibration. So they, you know, they received the money, they won it, and then they kind of just frittered it away. They didn't have, you know, they weren't good guardian for the money. So money will come to us when we have a purpose for it. If you've got certain things that you want to create in your life, in your business, some great projects or things that you want to do with that money, the money will come in because you're creating a container for it. So that's important too. But in order to create the container, we need to have the mindset right, yeah? Because we can have all sorts of amazing ideas and visions, but, the unconscious mindset's really, running that show. So let's talk about how to get into theta brainwave then. I'll take you through like a little exercise. So if you just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And want you to focus on your heart, and then take your energy down through your feet. Imagine that you've got beautiful roots going down through the soles of your feet into Mother Earth. So they go deeper and deeper and deeper down into the earth, knowing that Mother Earth is a part of all that is. Just allowing yourself to be held by Mother Earth. Feel that wonderful sense of unconditional love, of belonging, of being nurtured. And then allow that nurturing energy to come up now through the soles of your feet, all the way up through your body, opening up all of the energy centers, coming up through your legs, into your hips, into your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, into your neck, and your fingertips, all the way up your back, up into your head. I want you to imagine a beautiful ball of light on the top of your head. And just notice what colour that ball of light is. And in a moment you're going to step into that ball of light. And we're going to connect with the universe, with Source, with God, with Creator of all that is, whatever you want to call that energy that is everything. So when you're ready, step into that ball of light and allow yourself to go higher and higher and higher. You're going up through all the layers of the universe, through the bright lights and the dark lights and the bright lights and the dark lights. And you're going higher and higher and higher. You're going to the 7th plane. So you may see beautiful sparkly lights, the beautiful pink laws of compassion. And just allow that beautiful law of compassion to push you higher still. You may see a rectangle window, and this is the window to the 7th plane. So just go through that window now. You'll see beautiful sparkly white light, so bright. It's as bright as the sun, but it doesn't hurt your eyes. And it's beautiful tingly feeling going through your body. Every atom, every molecule begins to blend with this beautiful white light. And you're in the 7th plane here, connected with everything that is.
I hope you enjoyed this show. For more shows like this and all the interviews of extraordinary people from around the world doing magnificent things, please do tune in to selfdiscoveryradio.com.
Of all that is. So as you continue to bask in this energy, I'm going to invite you to change some beliefs. And all you need to do is to say yes if you want these beliefs to be changed or pulled. So let's start with some of these vows. So oaths, vows, promises, agreements, commitments, or contracts that you've made throughout time, space, dimension, and reality, everywhere that you've decided that money isn't for you. Maybe you decided that you needed to be poor in order to be spiritual, in order to live your purpose, in order to be close to God, whatever the reason. Is it okay if we pull and cancel that belief, send it to the light and replace it with the truth, I am abundant? Would you like that?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so just say yes and allow that energy to shift within you. If you're sensitive to energy, you might see colours, you might feel energy shifting. Sometimes people get like little tingles. It's all good. You might not feel anything, and that's good too. So just trust this process. Yeah, so I'm being shown that there's lots that's shifting on all levels, on the history level, the ancestral level, from family. And the ancestors love it when we clear beliefs because they get cleared as well for them, but also for us. And also when we work on this genetic level, we're also clearing it for those that we're sharing our DNA with. So for your children and for their children, we're clearing it all the way back through the genetic line and bringing it all the way forward through the genetic line. So it's beautiful to be able to do this. So can we teach you what it feels like that you can live without poverty? Can we teach you what it feels like that it's safe for you to be abundant, to be wealthy, to be rich, and that you are?
Yes.
Beautiful. So I can see this is shifting with you, Sarah, so this is good. So for some people, when we work in this way, you might feel shifts taking place. Sometimes there's more work that needs to be done, but you'll get some clearing, you'll get some shifts. So yeah, let's just have a look at the struggle. So everywhere that you have to struggle, that you vow to struggle, everywhere that you have to learn the hard way. God loves a trier, apparently. And some of us try so hard, right? So would you like to know what it feels like that you can let go of the struggle? Let's just pull any oaths, any vows, any promises, agreements, commitments or contracts that you've made through all time, space, dimension, reality to struggle. Okay? Teach you what it feels like that you can learn, that learning can be fun, that you can learn the easy way. Okay? That you can have more grace, more ease in your life, that you know how to live without struggling. Okay? So just sending all that struggle up to the light, releasing that. And let's download for you that you know what it feels like, that you can be close to God without needing to suffer, without needing to struggle, without needing to be poor, okay, without needing to be on your knees. Would you like that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let's just clear all of that. You see, often our ancestors, you know, we're becoming more conscious now of spirituality as opposed to religion. It doesn't matter what religion you are. This is for everybody, okay? No matter, you know, what religion. But some religions, we have these kind of beliefs where, you know, we have to struggle or we have to be a certain way. So can Creator teach you, can God teach you, or the universe teach you, whatever you want to call that energy? So if I'm using a word, just replace it with the word that you accept and that you love. So can we teach you what it feels like, the difference between religion and spirituality?
Yes, and it's divine.
And that you know what it feels like to be spiritual. Okay? That's shifting so much. So, and you know, the ancestors are coming in. I can kind of feel like not just us, but people that are going to be listening to this, you know, next week or next month or whatever. Everybody that's listening will be able to receive these healings and these downloads. So this is cool. Okay, good. So, sacrifice. Let's talk about sacrifice. So often I think as mothers, as women, we sacrifice ourselves, and often men sacrifice themselves, don't they? They have the role of protector, or breadwinner often. So, you know, we have these beliefs, a lot of them outdated, so let's have universe teach you what it feels like, that you know how to live without sacrificing yourself. So any oaths, any vows, promises, agreements, commitments, contracts, or time, space, dimension, reality that you've ever made to sacrifice yourself to others or to anything or anyone, let's just pull all of that and replace it with, I know what it feels like and how to live my life without being sacrificed, without sacrificing myself. Okay. Good. How are you doing, Sarah?
Oh, doing great.
Okay. Good. So we've done struggle, we've done sacrifice, we've done poverty. Let's do. I'm going to do this one. I don't know why. I want you to test this one, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Test. I take a vow of silence.
I take a vow of silence. Oh yes.
That's so funny.
Yes, for radio
given what
host,
you
yes.
do, I was like, really bad. Like, no, get Sarah to test this one because she's got this one running. Okay, so isn't it funny, because sometimes part of our kind of wounding, if you like, is part of our purpose as well. So would you like to know what it feels like that you can live without having to be silent, without having to shut up, without having to be quiet?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I intellectually push those boundaries all along, but yes, the permission from my soul and spirit to be free would be good.
Yeah, and so this is a big part of your purpose, isn't it? The speaking. So then this is throat chakra. So it's about communication. It's about soul purpose. It's about expressing our purpose. It's about speaking our truth. So some of you may have had issues around being able to speak your truth, or we had growing up things like children are seen and not heard. Hopefully that's a bit further back than our generation, but probably not that far back actually.
No, not
yeah.
that early.
So or you don't answer your parents back. So it's like your opinion, your voice doesn't matter.
No.
So every voice matters, of course. We all need to be seen and to be heard. So can universe show you what it feels like that any vows to be silent? Sometimes we have past lives, with nuns, that kind of thing, when we've taken a vow of silence, or heaven forbid a vow of chastity. We might have to pull that one as well. Let's pull that one as well. Because that's our creativity.
I think I probably signed that one too.
Yeah, it's our creativity.
Yes.
So let's have creator pull the vow of silence, the vow of chastity, and teach you what it feels like that it's safe for you to be able to speak. It's safe for you to be able to be heard, to be able to speak your truth, to be able to express your purpose in the world. And that you know how and what it feels like that you're heard by others, that you matter and that you're important. And that you also know how to listen to others and have others speak their truth. Yeah, that's better. Okay. We're seeing all these beautiful, I see colours coming in and things coming out. Cool. So let's do the vow of chastity then, because this is your sacral chakra, and it's about creation. It's also about our desires. So when we're wanting to manifest things in our life, whatever it is we're wanting to manifest, if we're not allowed to have what we desire, or we're forbidden, or we're not permitted, or we don't get what we want, then that's what we create, and it creates a lot of frustration, a lot of blockage there. So that doesn't help that flow. So let's just pull any oaths, vows, promises, agreements, commitments, contracts, through all time, space, dimension, reality, everywhere that you've taken that vow of chastity. Everywhere that you've shut yourself off or denied yourself from bodily pleasure, let's say that, I don't know why those words are coming out, but they are. So everywhere that you disconnected from your desires, from your dreams, everywhere you're not able to have what you want, everywhere that it's been made wrong in some way, let's just ask Creator to pull all of that and teach you how to live without it. Teach you what it feels like, that you know how to feel your desires, feel your dreams, and that you know how and what it feels like that your dreams can come true. And that it's safe to, that you know how to, and that you allow yourself to. Good. So I'm feeling much more aware of the body now. It's really funny how we're in these bodies, but we're more than the body, and yet sometimes, It's kind of like we're not really in our body, we're not
Yeah.
grounded. And this is another thing around the money and around the receiving. We need to be in our body. We need to be able to feel the joy of being here and having fun. Sometimes we get a bit serious in our work or with our purpose, So sacral chakra and receiving is about feeling, and it's about enjoyment, fulfillment. So would you like to know what it feels like that your desires can be fulfilled?
Yeah, I've actually lost a lot of joy in life. Being completely
Okay.
disconnected from that. I enjoy
Yeah.
my work and what I do. I love it. But the
Mhm.
actual just feeling joy
Yeah.
isn't very open.
Okay. So can Creator pull any energies that are blocking you from feeling the joy? So any sadness, any sorrow, any grief, all of that
Mm-hmm.
for you, for everybody listening, because often we have feelings that need to be pulled out in order for us to be able to feel that joy. And sometimes people have some people have imbalances in their brain chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they don't have enough serotonin, so they find it hard to kind of feel uplifted or to feel happy. So there's some things that we can do around that. So one is to balance the chemicals in your brain so that you know what it feels like to be happy. And we also have receptors in every cell in our body. So we have receptors for pain and receptors for struggle and receptors for happiness. Okay. Sometimes what happens is they kind of get stuck. So we might have some negative receptors for things that we don't particularly really want. And so we can kind of close down some of the receptors and open up receptors for joy so that we can invite more joy into our life. So let's just ask the universe to do that for everybody, that we know what it feels like, that it is safe for us to be joyful. That is, again, joy is one of our, the nature of who we are. We're love, we're joy, just being here. We get so caught up doing, so busy. And this is where we kind of disconnect really from ourselves. So just have everybody see what it feels like to connect with yourself, that you know what it feels like to live without being disconnected from yourself, without being disconnected from your body, without being separate from
Or
yourself,
disconnecting
all
from the
others.
sadness.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it's like if we've got sadness or kind of grief, often, we kind of, busy lives, we kind of sometimes don't really allow ourselves to express all of that or clear that. So, it kind of gets stuck in ourselves. And, sadness often gets stuck in the lungs. Anger gets stuck in the liver or can affect the liver. Fear in the kidneys and so forth. So we want to pull this from our body, and we can get it in our organs, in our tissue, pull it and clear it from our energy field and teach us how to live without it. So truly everything in life is a gift, and it's all about how we perceive it. In our small personality and ego, of course, we have certain beliefs that we hold on to kind of control everything.
And we really can't, embrace these new beliefs until we have actually deleted and released these old ones.
Exactly.
They don't live harmoniously together.
No, well, sometimes people have what we say dual beliefs, so they can know one thing but they feel another, or it's kind of there but they've also got the opposite. So, in order for us to feel really joyful, we want to clear any regrets, any rejection, we want to clear resentments, because anger and that, anger and frustration and sadness, they block our joy. And so that means that, again, we're not receiving.
Right. Yeah, and guilt's a huge one, isn't it? Like lately, I've been feeling guilty over things from 20, 30 years ago. And it's like, why am I still feeling guilty about this? I've asked for forgiveness, but I'm still carrying it around. And why now?
Yeah, well, again, these are like huge topics, and everybody would be different, if we dig
Yeah.
down to the bottom of what's going on. But, often the stuff around worth, self-worth and
Yes.
self-esteem, very much around shame and guilt.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask Greta to teach you what it feels like to live without shame, to live without guilt. And as I just said that, to live without shame, I could hear a lot of objections coming up, like in the subconscious, because often the reasons we hold on to shame and guilt is that if we feel we've done something wrong, we don't want to do that again. So it's like a way of keeping ourselves safe so we don't repeat that mistake. And so therefore we hold on to it, we keep beating ourselves up in order to be good now. Yeah.
Yes.
So can the universe teach you what it feels like that you already have those lessons, blessings and gifts, that you know how to be the best you that you can, that you have greatest perspective on everything that's occurred in your life? Yeah, we see things from the small mind, okay? From the universal mind, everything is different. Everything has served a purpose. We don't always see that. And you were talking about the forgiveness. The biggest thing sometimes is that we forgive others, but we don't forgive ourselves.
Yes.
So let's just ask Creator to put any unforgiveness, every way you don't forgive yourself, that you can't forget. Let's Creator teach you what it feels like. It's safe to forget that now, that you can leave that behind, that you can have the lessons, the blessings and the gifts, and you can move forward now, that you can forgive yourself, you can forgive others. Forgiveness is huge. Again, unforgiveness will block you from receiving. Yeah, and the person, when you forgive, it's not about forgiving the other person and what they did. It's about setting yourself free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not condoning what's been done, but it's releasing yourself from the pain and attachment to it.
Yeah, and when we say that, we're kind of like talking to the conscious mind, and people will be like, yeah, but on the unconscious level, it's like, no, they're holding on to it because it's not safe. If I let it go, then they'll do it again. So let's just have Creator teach you what it feels like, that it's safe to let go, that you know how to have healthy boundaries, that you know how to do the right thing, and that you know what it feels like to live without being a victim. Then it's safe then to forgive and let go. Move forward in your life. When we do that as well, we're also calling back all of your soul fragments. I've just been made aware there's lots of soul fragments that are being called back in. Anytime we have any pain, shock or trauma on any of these levels, there's parts of our soul, like little fragments or shards, that kind of split off, So that means that we're kind of like not as powerful as we truly are. So it's really cool to bring back these soul fragments and bring back more of your energy and more of your soul energy with you, so that you know that you can be powerful, that you can be strong, that you can be this amazing, magnificent co-creator that you are. Okay?
When you are in that freedom, I mean, you do feel so light. You feel like liquid. You feel like air, fluidity. I mean, everything about you is just beautifully moving forward. But when you are blocked, you just feel heavy all the time and tired all the time and weighted down. And it's just like you're carrying a load that, that gets heavier and heavier with time. And it's repression, isn't it?
Yeah. So any time that we're feeling that heaviness, or any time that we're kind of identified with a problem, usually what's happening is we're disconnected from everything that is.
Yeah.
Because there's always a solution. Okay, there's always a lesson or a gift, everything's serving us. So it's not really a problem. It's an opportunity, which is very easy to say, because when my shit happens, I can get into my forgetfulness and kind of get bogged down a bit sometimes, but I'm lucky that, kind of a lot of my training, a part of me is like, no, okay, so what's the lesson here? What am I learning from it? The more that we train ourselves to do this, and the less reactive we become, and we're able to respond and to find a solution a lot quicker, and to get back into flow, back into connection with everything.
Yeah, because you need to spend the emotion, but you don't need to get caught up in the emotion.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, you have to release it, which is release any anger, release any frustration, which doesn't mean shouting or ranting, but just clear that energy so that you can then be in your powerful self.
Because if you don't, it's going to go in your layers of your psyche, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's just, I'm just going to ask Creator what we're doing here now. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of energy still shifting for people. So I'm just going to ask Creator to teach you what it feels like to live your life from that place of connection, from that place of abundance, knowing that you're always loved, that you're always safe, that you have Creator's perspective on that, on how to keep yourself safe. A few people needing that little extra bit in there. Yeah, it's not that we're never going to have fear, because we've got animal instinct and intuition, our gut instinct, so, but yeah, once we know that that we are safe, that the universe has our back, of course there's things that we can be inspired to do, we can follow our intuition, we'll be guided, but life is so much easier. So let's just pull any fear or any anxiety that people have been holding on to, and teach you what it feels like to live without that, any doubts or disbelief. I'm just seeing as well some people with some God issues, and you could replace that with the universe. It doesn't matter, it's like, nobody cares, the universe doesn't love me, God forgets me, God ignores me, all of that, it's just our perception. So let's just download the universe's truth on all of that. We're always loved, we're always connected.
It's just that we maybe have turned the volume down and we're not hearing
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good. So let's just have all of you lovely people to just take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out now, I just want you to imagine that you're having a beautiful shower of light washing over you. We might want some raindrops. Wash and cleanse, and then just bring yourself back down into your body now, so you're coming back through all the layers of the universe, the bright lights, dark lights, bright lights, coming all the way back into your physical body. And that beautiful ball of light coming in through the top of your head into your body. Take your energy down to your feet, out through the soles of your feet, connecting with Mother Earth, and then bringing that earth energy all the way back up through your body, all the way up to your crown chakra. When you're ready, just opening your eyes. Welcome back. Good. So that's a little bit how we change the beliefs. We've covered how we find them, and you can muscle test them.
It's like taking it in a shower, isn't it? It's like, putting yourself through the wash cycle and getting rid of, a whole lot of stains that have been there for a long time, and coming out feeling kind of refreshed and fluffy and new.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I was working one-to-one with somebody, then I would, kind of have a list of what they wanted to work on, what the old story is, what the new story is, what they're wanting to manifest, and then we would dig and find some of these beliefs. When I'm working in groups, I know lots of common beliefs. Whenever I've worked with groups, there's things that I've tested, like pain, shock and trauma, the abundance thing, the not worthy thing, not good enough. That comes up. 50% of people in the room, when I've done live events, have these beliefs, and time again I've done it. And I'm like, oh God. So if there's 50% of people in the room, there's 50% of the population out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That have got these beliefs. So, it's normal, it's common. So yeah, it's really good to get them cleared up.
And there's a lot of kind of static energy out there at the present moment, with this kind of disruption that's going on in the world, this shake-up. And it's very, very easy to get caught in the static. And we have to be aware of that and make sure we don't buy into it, because it is going to be very disruptive to us, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that a lot of it's that fear-based energy. We see a lot of negative stuff on the TVs, and especially when you're sensitive, you don't even need to watch TV, you can kind of feel it, it's some things like Facebook, I looked today, some people posting some things with animal abuse, and it makes me cry watching, and I'm like, God, I can't even put Facebook on anymore. So, it's good to keep yourself in as kind of like a higher vibration and positive energy as you can, so you don't get sucked into that. And of course we can send our thoughts are so powerful, so we can make a difference in the world. It's not that we're ignoring it, but it's what you see day in, day out, whether it's on your Facebook feed or on the news or whatever. You're feeling it. Everybody's connected, so we're already feeling what's going on around the world on some level. Some of us are more conscious of that, or more sensitive to it. But yeah, There's a lot
I
going
think
on.
for people like us that are like that, I think that's where that overriding sadness can come. And it
Yeah.
can be very, very consuming. So one
Yes.
really has to remember to take yourself through this kind of exercise and clean yourself out. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it really, it kind of becomes such a damp blanket that you can't rise from it.
Yeah, I mean, meditation is so powerful, and the theta brainwave is really quick. This is the quickest way to actually connect, with your unconscious mind, with your higher self, with God, universe, whatever you want to call that energy, with your angels, with your spirit guides. You can have all the, the support that you need, all the love and all the wisdom that you need to tap into all the guidance for your life, and that beautiful shower of love and energy that you just get topped up.
And it's
So
so easy to kind of test yourself, just ask
yes,
yourself some questions. And as you said, the body doesn't lie. And
yeah,
you go, oh gosh, I wasn't aware that that's how I
yeah,
was feeling. Well, now, do a cleanse, of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So it's something we can maintain. We're busy maintaining everything else in our lives, but we forget that we need maintenance ourselves.
yes, yeah, ongoing.
Ongoing, yes.
Yeah,
Part of your routine.
that's it. It's just like having a shower, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
daily
you are
practice.
stinky.
Yes.
And your life stinks.
Good metaphor. So, shall I share the wealthy business goddess mindset?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is a really powerful exercise that you can do, by the way. Again, it will help you find some of your beliefs. But anything that you want to bring into your life, the qualities that you want to experience in your life, or even the feelings that you want to experience in your life. We use this is not an affirmation, but when you say I am. So I am, and then you can finish the sentence. It might be I am a mother, I am a woman, I am a man, I am an entrepreneur, I am whatever. Okay? So the wealthy business goddess mindset, it's about who you are being. Okay, everything that when we're trying to change things in our life, we can change our environment, we can change our behaviors. The biggest change comes from changing our identity and who we are being in the world. Okay, so who are you and who are you being? And most of the things that we want in life that we don't have is because we need to be a different vibration. We need to match that energy and vibration, raise our vibration, and be the better version of ourselves.
Yes.
So, for example, if you've got a lot of anxiety and worry, and you're kind of like doubting everything, and you doubt yourself, then you want to be somebody who is confident. Yeah. So if you put I am confident, yeah. Everything that you say after I am, because I am is kind of like I am presence. Everything you say after I am is it's almost like you're telling your unconscious mind this, okay? And I just kind of, it's not like an affirmation, but I kind of put these up somewhere where you can see them. So I am a goddess. You might be a god if you're male. I am powerful. I am successful. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am connected to all that is. My ideal clients are everywhere. I say yes to life, and life says yes to me. And you can add to these, you can kind of put whatever you want to in there. But some of these are kind of like really counteracting some of those unconscious beliefs that we've been talking about.
And it's addressing it in the now, isn't it? In
Yeah.
the moment. So if you're speaking to the moment, then the universe knows is that you need it now. Don't speak to something you want in the future. It's now. Address the now, because that's what energy understands, is now.
Yeah, it's all happening now. And when you kind of have these beliefs, when you have this mindset, so as a wealthy goddess, what do you do in this situation? All right, kind of allows you to kind of step up. You know, I also do a lot of work with people around their future self. You know, we were talking about that, creating their best self. You know, our higher self has a lot of wisdom and guidance, and it's, you know, the personality ego that gets caught up in the fear-based stuff and needing to be safe and kind of playing small. You know, so when you allow yourself to step into these statements. And you claim this identity, so I am a goddess. So as a goddess, you know, what do you do in this situation? As somebody who's powerful, what do you do in this situation? Or as somebody who's successful, what do you do? You know, what behaviors do you have? What habits do you have? And, you know, there's a big difference between the habits of people that are wealthy and people that are successful and people maybe that are struggling, yeah? So it's kind of really looking at our habits and our behaviours and changing those. But when, as I say, once we've shifted our limiting beliefs and once we've kind of downloaded with these positive beliefs and positive feelings, it's much easier to be that different person because we've already changed it on the cellular level. We don't have to, you know, kind of like use a lot of willpower to try and be or feel powerful. You know, we just feel it.
But sometimes even on the cellular level you've released, but like there is that still memory drive in your head. And so you can actually feel it. Like, you know, you go and say something and then all of a sudden you'll feel something in your body. Or that little doubt will come up. And so, you know, it's like address it. Don't let it ferment, right? Address it and clear it right now. Because it just could be a mirror or residual imprint in there. Or your programming in your mind hasn't changed yet. And you may have to do it a few times until it gets the message that is a deleted program.
Yeah, I would say with this work, if we find the bottom belief and we find what you're learning from it, if we change a belief, we always then muscle test it to make sure that we've got those beliefs and that the other ones are cleared. Then you shouldn't have stuff coming up. Sometimes for a couple of days we might have old programs like memories that are still being released because we can muscle test that the belief's gone, but as you're saying, the energy would maybe take a little bit longer, but it shouldn't kind of be there like, you know, a week later. If it is, then we've got some more work to do. There's something that we didn't quite get to the bottom of, or, you know, on one level maybe. So but what you're saying in terms of, you know, clearing any energy that you've got, you know, if you've got, you don't have to believe everything that you hear, even if it's from yourself. You know, a lot of the beliefs that we have, right? This is going to blow some people's minds, maybe, but a lot of the beliefs that we have aren't even our beliefs. And I'm not even talking now about, you know, our ancestors. A lot of the times we're all connected, so we're picking up collective unconscious. It may be our loved ones, it may be their feelings and their beliefs and their pain sometimes. So, you know, just ask yourself, whose belief is it?
Exactly.
Or who does it belong to?
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you're in an environment where people, instead of owning their beliefs, are dumping their beliefs. You know, you could be a receptor and you're kind of picking up somebody's angst that's several floors down. You know, and you just kind of picked up that vibe. And so, you know, look at it. Is this me? As you say, muscle test. And if it isn't, make sure you shake it off, clear it right there and then, because, you know, those are your boundaries. That's not welcome. So this has been absolutely fascinating. I love it. And the thing is, again, is that a lot of people think to do all of these things, it has to be so complicated and so complex. And really, when you look at it, it's just so very simple. Anybody can muscle test. Anybody can speak to this. Now, it's great to have somebody like you there that, you can see whether it's working or not. But also to guide people through the process, especially initially, until they get to that point where they're living in their joy and their abundance. And it's just a question of maintaining that practice to make sure they stay on that equilibrium. But I think we all need that somebody to get us out of the gate, to help us with the clearing.
This is why I like teaching it, though, because I love to give people tools and empower them. You know, so
Send
you
them
can
home with a toolkit.
There's videos on the muscle testing. That I've got lists of beliefs that you can muscle test yourself. You know, there's meditation that you can listen to and you know, go back into that and kind of, you know, there's books that you can read, or you can come and do the training, whichever. But yeah, it's good to be able to have tools that you can use for yourself, because when, you know, if I get something that comes up, now I'm kind of okay, so what's the worst thing about that, and what would happen if there, and I start digging on it, and then very soon, like within a couple of minutes, I've got the bottom belief. And when these beliefs are pulled, you can get amazing results very quickly. I've had some phenomenal results with people using this work. It's very powerful.
Well, it's. I mean, I'm already feeling lighter. I mean, I've been walking around heavy for so long, just wondering what is in my way. Because, as I said, my mind is saying one thing, but the old memories are kind of saying, and very often we don't know how to get to that core cellular level ourselves. We aren't designed to do that. So you do need to have somebody who knows those channels and knows how to go through those layers of release. Because otherwise we end up just doing it intellectually and not really going through the channels or down in those cellular levels.
Yeah, I have sessions myself.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And this is the thing, it's not
and I do a lot of work on myself as well, but yeah, I still have other people facilitate me.
Yeah, exactly, because that's it's doctor heal thyself. It's always the worst patient, right? So we have to be mindful of doing this ourselves to maintain our own inner wealth and inner health. And let's understand, your health is your wealth.
Exactly.
Right? And money is money. It's a wonderful tool. It enables and it gives us a good lifestyle. But without health, you're not wealthy. So, and that comes so much from stuff that we're carrying around that starts breaking down the body and the mind, right?
Yeah, it's all connected. Yeah.
So, this has been a wonderful session. And folks, if this is the first one that you've listened to, please go back and listen to the other one as well with the archetypes, this financial abundance. It's that's going to blow your mind again. And we're going to do a third one. And what's the third one going to be on, Kimberly?
That's a good question.
Where are you going to take us next? I think we should address love. I think love is a universal thing that is very hard for people to do in such a repressed world.
Then maybe I was thinking that we might do something around manifesting, and so maybe we'll talk about love and manifesting, because that, again, it can be in any. Love is the foundation of everything. If we're not loving ourselves and not loving life, then we're setting ourselves up to fail, basically.
And of course, a lot of people think that manifesting is that you just put it out to the universe and you sit there and wait for it to happen, which is not so, right? It's it's painting the picture for the universe to deliver for you, but you've got to act in order for that delivery. So
maybe I'll take people through a process then next time about love and about manifesting, and to help them to open up to experience more love in their life.
And be able to hold on to that love, because again, this thing that love is fleeting. Why? When you've got it, why do we lose it? Why are we so happy to give it away? Why can't we sustain it? It's so, it's like, better to have loved and lost. I don't want to lose any love. I want to hold on to it. And I think there's so many myths going out there. And I think, again, it comes down to that reprogramming, is it? And feeling worthy of love, having a love of life, loving love, and keeping it alive, keeping the flame alive.
Yeah.
So that would be a good one.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We are uncovering so much here. As I said, please go back and listen to the archetype ones, because you're going to want to take your archetypes with her as well. It blew my mind, and it gave me such clarity. And then this today, I knew there were layers in me. But again, it's very hard to do on yourself, especially when you are a spiritual person, because you've got so much dialogue going on in you all the time. And to have somebody take you through it, it just feels like, you've gone to the laundromat. Somebody else is doing your laundry. Because guarantee you're going to miss the spots if you do it yourself, right? So, really, I did come out feeling kind of so much cleaner. That's the word I feel, so much cleaner. So, it's a good feeling. So, and it doesn't mean you're not going to go and get into a mud pit and get mudded up again. So you need the tools to know how to get back clean again, right? Well,
I love your metaphors.
well, this has been an absolute delight, and we've learned so much from you today. It's the same with the archetypes, and I know we're going to with the love, and so we're going to do that in October, have you back in a few weeks. And really, this is something, listen, it doesn't matter which order you listen things into, but, be willing to take the journey, be willing to do what's needed, and reach out to you, because you can work with people virtually as well as independently, right?
Yeah, most of my work I do is on Skype. Nowadays, I work with people all over the world on Skype. Yeah.
Exactly. And she may be in the UK. She has a beautiful speaking voice. I've had other people do things where the voice absolutely grates you, so you can't hear the message. And you have a beautiful therapeutic voice there that really is that allows like a wave to go through you. So folks, reach out to her. So how do they get hold of you? How do they book a session with you?
Okay, so people, you can come to my website. Give you www.kimberlylovell.com, and you can find out more about the theta healing work that I do, the mindset work, and you can also find out about the training, download some of the limiting beliefs, so you can muscle test yourself, you can see the videos. So if you sign up, in fact, if you sign up on the kimberlylovell.com one, there's some goodies on that one, but there's another website I have which has got a sequence of emails that comes out to you with all of those downloads on, and that is www.theta-healing-training.com. So I'm sure Sarah will put links as well on the blog.
Exactly.
And that one, you'll get sent the MP3, you'll get sent the video, you'll get sent a list of beliefs that you can muscle test and download. So those come out automatically for you.
Excellent. And it's Lovell with 2 L's, folks. So it's
KimberlyLovell
with 2 L's.com. Join her Facebook, Wealthy Business Goddess Tribe. She's also on Facebook, Kimberly.Lovell. And, I really do encourage you to reach out because this is something, especially initially, when you're, beginning at this, you need the guidance and the help. And then after that, she's giving you the tools. You've got the toolkit to maintain yourself, and with an occasional top-up from her. So, it's you're not meant to do it alone, and let somebody guide you who knows what she's doing. And I promise you, you're going to feel great. Even those that listened and went with this today, I'm sure you are feeling absolutely wonderful. And with the archetypes, as I said, it just blew my mind. And it's really explained so much about yourself and why and who you are. So I really encourage you reach out and do that as well. Kimberly, it is always a delight. I'm looking forward to the next one. And
my pleasure, my pleasure.
Conjure up some more after that, because we can go on and on with you. The Kimberly
Thanks
series.
so much.
So thanks so much, love. And to everyone else, remember, it's not wishful thinking. It's not like I wish or I can't. Action. You have to get out and do. She's here to help you. Reach out. Put yourself into action. You'll see the results, and then you'll wonder why you took so long. It's up to you, folks. So don't forget to invest in yourself, because you're worth it. Until next time.
You've been listening to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show. If you've enjoyed the show, subscribe and review our podcast. Sign up to receive your Wealthy Business Goddess resources and join us in the Wealthy Business Goddess community at www.lovekimberly.com/WBG. To find out more about how Kimberly can support you in creating the life and business of your dreams, or to watch the show via video, visit the website at www.kimberlylovell.com.